Hi, this is John Kramer. This is a video to teach you how to use the four templates that I've provided for you for the four major social networks: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. This particular image is optimized for Instagram 1080 by 1080. It's a little bit smaller in this video, so it fits in the video. So each of these templates allows you to basically take the same content and optimize it for four major social networks. Now, there are actually four elements in each of these graphics. One, there's a background image. In this case, it's an image of, gosh, I'm not sure what you'd call that. Sort of looks like metal bubbles, but I'm not sure what the image is. But it was a nice image, so I used it. The second thing that happens is there's this square with a white border around it, and it allows you, with a little bit of work, to format that shape and fill it if you want to with a different, for example, you can make it completely non-transparent, or you can make it completely transparent. Or for this particular image, I found that a good uh, setting is 50% transparency for the image so that you could actually, the words would stand out. Now, the words are in their own particular, um, what would you call it, space, I guess you would call it. And you can see, you can move it around, and that's only the text. Now, I like having that text separate from the border image, because that way you can move it around, you can adjust it, and so on, and still maintain the background white border and the transparency that you want. The fourth element in these graphics is what I call the branding image. And in this case, it's lewiscoster.com that we want to send traffic to. So you have those four elements: the branding part right down here at the bottom, which again, you can adjust, you can make it different colors and so on and so forth, and I'll show you some of that in a few minutes. You have the text image, the text element that allows you to change the text, add different text, and so on. Again, the background, the border box with a transparency that allows you to shift from full transparency to no transparency, and then of course the background image. So now what I'm going to do is show you how to take one of these templates that I provided for you and create a new graphic from it. So the first element that you have to do is you click on the box here, over here on the left, and you select, right click, and you select duplicate slide. Now the reason you want to duplicate the slide is that makes it easy to make the changes. For example, the first change I'm going to make is I'm going to click on format to background. And that allows you to do different things in the background. And what I want to do is insert a new image. And I'm going to take it from one of their stock images. The neat thing is that PowerPoint actually provides various images. And because of what I've done already in the background, I want to look for an image that features a bicycle. Looks like it's on the top of the sand dune with the sun in the background. Um, and it allows you to take that image and put it in here in the background. And that allows you to then move around the image and the text and have something that's, nice. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to move the image up a little bit. I mean the text element. So we already have the background done the way we want it. Now I'm going to take a quote from Dr. Coster, and it's a really neat quote. It's not going to fit here without making some changes, but we'll do that. So I just cut and pasted it in, and then I'm going to select keep text only so that it's the same as it was before. Now, in this particular case, I had it right justified in the previous graphic. In this one, I want it to be left justified. So I go to Home and I select up here the paragraph left justified. Now that allows me to do something to, create the text in a way that I want it. Now, um, I want to make sure that it's, the whole thing fits here. So right now I'm sort of playing around with the text. I'm probably going to make it a little bit smaller text so it fits. So right now it's around, I guess, 72. We're going to make it 66. Okay, that might work. That's probably a little bit smaller than I wanted. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type 70. Okay, that made it a little bit. Let's do 74. Okay, and then 80. Nope, that's too big. Okay, 78. Nope. Okay, 76 we're going to keep it at. Now, this is the quote that Dr. Costa has. Paradise is where you are. It's only your thoughts that make it hell. And then the quotes from Dr. Louis Costa. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to put the his attribution. I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to make his about 66, maybe 60. Yeah, I like that better because then it fits uh, without breaking up his name. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to format that particular part and have it right formatted. Now, because we've done that, we can make the text here a little bit larger. Now, again, here you're playing around. You decide what's going to work based on the image you have and the words that you want to convey. Now we have something here that doesn't look too bad. Let's see if we move it over a little bit. Okay, then we're going to lose things. Okay, that works. And what I'm going to do here now is because I want that to sort of stand out, the two thoughts there. I made it into two sentences. Paradise is where you are. It's only your thoughts that make it hell. Dr. Louis Costa. Now, we've got this, but it doesn't read that well. It's not quite strong enough. So there's a couple things we can do. One is we could play around with color, and that might work. But I think what we're going to do right now is make the transparency less. So I'm going over here to the right, and I'm doing about a 25% transparency. It makes the image go a little bit more into the background and brings the words out a little bit stronger. And that's the one thing that I wanted to do. Now, I think I'm going to pull this over so that the paradise is where you are. It's your thoughts that make it hell. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to change the paragraph again. Now, these are things that you would learn as you use PowerPoint. Right now, I'm just going to do them without too much thought in terms of, you knowing it or not knowing it. But I want to at least give you an example of what you can do so that you can see how you can sort of separate things a little bit more. So paradise is where you are. It's only your thoughts that make it hell. Now this looks pretty good just as it is. Now, because of the way it's sitting, I want to bring this down a little bit so that it reads a little bit more comfortably. And there it is. Paradise is where you are. It's only your thoughts that make it hell. Now, with the Louis Costa, I could change the color. I could do all kinds of things with it if I wanted to, but I think I like having it be white. So I think that works fine. So now I have a new graphic. And again, you could play with it. You could use different background colors, background images. You can use different colors for the text. But we have basically an image here that we can use. Now what I'm going to do is, first of all, you save the entire template, the template to PPTX, uh, because you want to make sure that you always save that. Now, if you want to save this particular image, you go to File, Save As, and you select, I like to use the JPEG format, File Interchange format. It's a graphic format. It's smaller than the PNG format, so I like to use it for that. Now, this would be, I would call it Louis Coster on Paradise and the JPEG. So now I saved that image, just this one. You can select all slides or just the one that you want to save. I usually just save them one at a time. So I'm going to save just this one, and now Paradise is where you are, is now available to look at. And I can bring, my graphic thing, and you can see it's right here. And there's the image, and again, that's in a graphic program, but that's what it looks like. So it's been saved as a graphic image. So it's very, very simple. Now what I want to show you is one more thing. How to take this same content and apply it to one of the other templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another template. Now, I've already done Facebook and Pinterest in a different video, so I'm going to now show you how to do a Twitter graphic in the same way. So I'm going to again right-click on one of these slides, and then I'm going to duplicate the slide, and then I'm going to start by taking the Paradise quote and put it in here. I believe I still had it. Yes, I did. Again, it's just a cut and paste thing. And there it is now. Now, again, it's, let's see. Right now, that's the way it's going to sit. But by just moving it a little bit, I can get the whole thing on there. So that's kind of nice. I didn't have to really adjust it a lot as I did in the previous Instagram image. Now, I want to again go back and format the background image to be the stock image. And again, I'm going to type in bicycle because I know that that's the image. Now, PowerPoint has a lot of different background images that you can use that are free to use. And again, you can see that there's some pretty ones like this bicycle in the background. But because we want each of the social network images to look similar, I'm going to again use the bicycle image against the sun. So it's very simple to bring it up and put it in. And you can see, so right now we've got the image. We have the words that we want. We have the branding that we want. One of the nice things about just copying is you can keep the same consistent branding for every image you create, if you're doing it only for your own website. So again, the paradise is where you are. It's only your thoughts that make it hell. Again, I want to make that into a left text thing. And then I want to take the Dr. Louis Coster and make that, what I did is I basically copied it and made a return so it's a separate paragraph. So I can then right click and make that go to the right because that's the way I wanted it. Now the question is, I probably need to make this background, again, probably 25%, so that the words stand out as well, be with the background of the bicycle and the sun and the what it looks like. It's sort of a beach scene. So, this is the same graphic that I created for Instagram. We saw that right here. And there it is as an Instagram. And here it is as a Twitter image. And again, to save the image, first of all, I always at some point just save the entire thing, so the whole template with all 5 slides that are in it now. Then I go and save as, and I save it as again, JPEG or GIF or PNG, TIFF. There's lots of choices here, but I like to use the JPEG format. And again, Louis Koster on Paradise, JPEG. Now that image is saved. Oh, I can't do that because then I'll overwrite the one that I did for Instagram. So I'm going to do Louis Koster on Paradise, Twitter. That tells me that it's the Twitter image. So again, I save it and just this one. And now again, I can go to the my folder and find it there and click on it, and there's the image that I wanted to save. And so that's it. That's how you make images for each one. In fact, I already created images for Facebook and Pinterest. The Pinterest images are 720 by 1176. The 720 by 1176 is basically 2 by 3. So 2 images wide by 3 images tall. And that's Pinterest recommends that as being a standard size. Now the Facebook one again is optimized for Facebook. And again, you can see I did that for a number of other images here where I showcased the sample images that you can create using these templates. And again, that's just for your help. Now we can continue creating more and more. Again, just keep them all in the same template. This is the Twitter template file. And right now it's got 5 images or slides, as PowerPoint would call them. 3 of them are for Dr. Louis Koster, and 2 other ones were images that I created for Twitter that quote Sadhguru, who's a wonderful man from India, and I love some of the things that he says. Here's one: if there is love in your heart, it will guide you through your life. Love has its own intelligence. So he has these wonderful quotes too, just as Lewis does. Here's another one that I created earlier. At the level of the world of arising, the domain of being, change is not a feature of awareness. The universe just is. Now, in this particular case, I did not attribute it to Dr. Louis Koster. And, if I were, then I'd have to make everything a little bit smaller and make some other changes. But again, I still have the branding for Louis Koster. In this case, I took the branding and put it over to the left. Now, you can click on that and you can move that branding around. But because of the graphic, behind graphic, I chose to put his branding over on the left so it would stand out more. And so that's some of the concept of what you do as you are creating graphics using these templates. Once you get comfortable with it, you can start playing around with it and do more things. You can see there's lots of other options in terms of what you do. You can see that the border background I created with a gold border in the first one to sort of match the background colors that are there. In the one that I created just as at the beginning of this talk, I used a white border, and I actually like the white border for most images better than the a different color, because I think white is sort of cool and clean. And so anyway, that's it. I probably talked too much already. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope this will help you to make use of the different templates for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Thank you.